Thank you, Megan. Megan Ford, tournament director. You guys run across her on your travels, say hello, say thank you. She does a great job putting this event together. All right, we're off. We talked about how important this first leg is. Hasn't really played out too much this week so far, as one guy may be running out the set, bad leg, but it's very important to get that leg down pretty quick. Looks like Andy's going to take the rack apart. He's going to try and lay down a good break. Andy's going to get first crack at making some balls. Oh, they're not going to do rack your own. Okay. I kind of like the rack your own format there. This way, God forbid something happens with the rack, and you maybe miss a ball or two. There's a crack here and there, and it doesn't come apart good. You can't really blame your opponent. Not that they're going to try and do that anyway. But yeah, and he did lay down a good break, and he's actually should be a 2-ball foul right there. And I'm going to try and leave the score until the end of the rack and then update it with the totals. I'm going to have to run out the score. So we'll see what Hector can do here. He's got a pretty open table to start from. He might have rolled too far for the 15. I don't think the 7 goes past it. I might play the 9-13 combination. That looks pretty good. He might be able to cut the 5 past the 14 and roll up into the 3 as a safe. He could thin the 7 and go, I would prefer 2 rails all the way to the upper right-hand corner. Because the 13 and the 9 do both go in the right-hand pocket. He doesn't want to leave Andy a shot into that pocket. That's a good simple safety too. Lock him up behind the ball. Pushed out the 7. So now Andy has to be really careful not to go up table. You might see Andy take a foul here if he feels he can't get a good save. He might be able to thin to 15 and come up by that side pocket, just before that side pocket. And let the stack hide that 7 ball for him. Hey, Mike Panzarella, what's up, buddy? Aren't you up a little early, dude? Hey, Mike, give me a mic check out there. Just double check the volume levels. Hopefully the sound's coming across pretty good. I'm trying to make adjustments as we go. Well, he went into the top of him. It looks like he left, I believe it's a 6 ball out. Well, Mike Andrews, thank you for that audio check. Appreciate it, buddy. Should be down here. Might be the 2. He's going to try and cut that in the side pocket. Try and get things started here. Good shot. Now he can go into him right now with the 5. And have the 7 or 15 as insurance. Doesn't have to blast into him. Just push out, 4 or 5. Make sure he stays on 1 or 2 of those balls. He's got to be careful not to hit it too hard. I mean, he could end up in the corner where that 5's going. If he doubled up on the 15. That worked out very nice. He just has that 8 and 11 to deal with in the center. He's got the 12 as a break. He's got the 14 as a break shot. He wants it. You can play the 14 now and try and come up into him. And again, he doesn't have to hit these hard. Just touch him a little bit. Maybe push the 11 up past the 10. You know, he'll still have a shot on the 7. Yeah, that might have been what he tried to do there. Because he's going to have to address that sooner than later. Wow, welcome to the stream, Lou. Good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Hope you've seen some of the other matches during the week. There's going to be a couple more too, so we're here until Saturday late. So stick around. It's only going to get better from here. Cream rises to the top, and at this event, it's 48 of the top players on the earth, if you can believe that. It's a monster field. This might be the strongest straight pool field ever assembled for a tournament. And you can check the names of the entry, the entry people, the contestants, to verify that, because these guys are just killers. Yeah, the longer he waits to go into them, the worse off he's going to be. Because you have to go into them and break them up, but you also would really like a ball to get onto, after you hit them. You need your insurance a little bit. Now, he's at a point, he's got to go into them now, I think, with the 12. He's got to clip that 8. He's still got the 14 as a break shot. If he can just maybe draw it underneath the 10. There you go. That worked out pretty good. Oh, he doesn't want them to tie back up again. Wow. Yeah, now what do you do, right? Play a tough angle on the 10 to nothing. He's still going to be left with a hard shot. You try and put that one ball down. Looks like the 1 maybe. It's a tough shot, but he's got no choice. The 8 and 11 came back together kind of awkwardly. And now he's going to have to play the break shot. The 14. He might be able to get on the 8. I was going to say, he might be able to play the 8, the combination. Or if he plays the 14, he might be able to go into the 8, knock the 11 down a little bit, use that as, from underneath the rack break. Still have the 10 in the side to get back on the 11. He put himself in a tough spot doing this, and now he might be playing that combination now. Good shot. Good shot there to break him out. And now if he plays the 8, he's going to have to go up and down the table, trying to avoid hitting a 10 ball, because I don't think he can just slow roll this in. And I definitely wouldn't want to cut the 10 on the side. Well, he did, but he hit the 10. He's out of position. position a little bit. He just needs to come with this one. Just play a stop shot really on it. A little bit of left, come to that side, railing off. He should be okay. Yeah, he got out of that rack pretty good. I mean, it was a little rough, but he did it. He's going to look to go into that corner ball. He's going to play it, I think. I would kind of play this with a center ball. Pound it maybe with a little bit of high to get it to come down instead of like stuck in the stack. He does have the 2 on the side. Yeah, look, so he should be okay from here. Because the 7 and the 4 are open on the bottom. He just has to roll the 2 in. It's a tough cut though, but let himself get stuck inside the stack. Looks like he just maybe played safe. He's going to give Hector a shot on the 2. It's a difficult shot from where he's at, but I think he has to play it in the upper right-hand corner. And then he's got to come over far enough from the side to get back on the 13. I don't know if he can hold it to shoot the 1. The 1 goes by the 13. But it's a tough enough shot just making the 2 ball. Bobbled it in the corner. Didn't hang it, but he bobbled it. A tough shot from there. Andy's going to step back up to the table with a good shot at the 2 to get into position. I kind of like, I think the 1 goes by the 13. I like playing this right into the center of the table, breaking into him again with the 1. You know, he can come past the rack on the left side and go into him with the 7 or potentially the 4. But I think if he stays above him, that'll give him the best chance to have something after he hits him with the 1. After he breaks him there with the 1. Now I think he just has to roll the 1 in. And he's got to try and push past the 6. If he glances off the 6, that's fine. He should still have the 7 and the 4. I don't think he tries to pound this and try and break him out. You're not going to get a good result. So just roll this 1 in. Try not even to hit the 6. Well, that kind of worked out maybe. I think he got a little fortunate right there. He pushed down to 9. He's got a shot in the 13, but I guess you can see the 11 in the side, past the 10. He plays that, he opens up that little trouble spot. Okay. He's okay from here. He can go into him with the 9. He's got to break up that little group right there. And the more he picks off balls before he goes into it, the less of a chance he's going to have of having a shot after he goes into it. You know, you take away all your insurance balls and then you go into a stack or a cluster. There's no guarantee you're going to get something. You would hope you would get something, but you've got to pound this one with a high ball. You see what I mean? Sometimes you can't be afraid to go into him. He's slowly picking it apart, you know, but he's not really doing himself any good. Yeah, if he has to play to 10, he might be able to cut the 8 in. It's hard to see if it goes. But if he's got to play to 10, he's got to bridge over, 7 balls there. I don't know if the 12 goes past the 8 and 15. 15 and 5 is not on. He looks like he might have a cut at the 8. So I'll have to see if he's got the angle from here. Yeah, now he's got to let the cue ball travel a little bit. Steve Lipsky's in the chat. Hey, Steve. We got to play somebody. I need to get my game up there. All right, he managed to put the 8 down. He can see it, and he's got on the 10 a little bit. He's still got to get into him. He came up a little short for the 7 or the 4. He should be okay with the 10. If he just plays a high ball and comes across table one rail, should be at least be able to get on the 4. And a 15-3 might be a good combination. It's kind of hard to see if it's on. He might be playing the 12. 12 might go by the 5. By the 15, rather. Okay, he's picking them apart a little bit at a time. Yeah, he's making hard work of this rack, but it is coming apart. And he's going to play the 7. You can't hit this too hard if he banks the 4 out of the way. He won't have a shot. Kind of like that. All right, while he looks for a sec, I'm going to get up and try and find out what that score is for you guys. Hang on one second. Scoreboard says 11-1, but if you count the balls up, might be at the end. I got to find out. Once this is over, they're going to adjust the score, and we'll get the updated score up there for you. So, yeah, Steve, I'm coming for you, buddy. I like to play as much as I can too against great players like yourself. So. We'll definitely get together, man, and battle it out some. I'm going to give a shout out now to Diamond Billiards. If you guys haven't been down here, it's in Midlothian, Virginia. You got to come in and say hello to Thomas Dorsey and his partners and the staff, and what an excellent venue. They have great amenities. They got 11 gold crowns and 5 diamonds. Full bar. Excellent food. My God, the food is delicious. If I don't pay attention, I'm going to put on 12 pounds just this 1 week alone. So come on down, stop by and say hello. Tell him thank you too. He's putting on this event because he's a nice guy. So gives you guys a chance to watch some of the greatest players in the world battle it out for that tournament. The 14.1 title, American Straight Pool Championships. We're going to be here all week long until Saturday. So if you get a chance, come on down, say hello. a shot at the 3 on the side. Again, these guys are making this opening couple of racks look a little difficult. Sometimes the balls just don't want to cooperate. Sometimes it's one of the hardest things you can deal with, is trying to struggle through a rack that just won't cooperate. It kind of makes you look like a bad player, even though you're not. These guys all can play. They wouldn't come down here to put their money up if they couldn't. So let's see what he does. He's either going to play the 3 or cut the 8. It looks like. Yeah, good shot. Maybe it was the 4. He cut the 4, I think it was. I can tell this monitor I'm dealing with has got a yellow hue to it. It's something to do with the graphics card or some kind of connection. We actually changed out monitors. We got the same problem. So we've been dealing with that issue all week. It's kind of hard to tell the balls apart. 10 and the 14 look the same. 2 and the 6 look the same. 8 and 4 look the same. So I might make a bad call from the booth, but give me a little leeway, okay? We're having a little bit of a technical issue. We'll figure it out. Now, he's got to watch out if he plays the 15. He didn't want to push the 5 too far down, but he's got a shot in the 3. He can get to the 5. He might play the 5 now, because from shooting the 3, getting onto the 5, there's no way to go into the stack. If he shoots the 5 to get on a 3, almost where he is now, he's got a 1-railer, or he's got a really good shot at leaving it safe from up there. Play the 3 and then roll to the 1 rail to the head rail, kind of where he's standing now, if he wants. He just wants to see how aggressive he wants to be. That was an interesting choice. He left the cue in the rack, so the cue ball is he's gonna have ball in hand behind the head string. It looks like there are 3 balls in play, so he might try and give himself some kind of an angle to go into him again. All right, they're going to adjust the score, so I'm going to stick my head out of the booth and try and find out what that is. I'll be right back. Lincoln is up 25-1 over Hector. Now he made a good shot to get into him. He did the best he could from where he was at. And you see the balls just didn't want to spread. Now he's going to try and find somewhere to hide. Or maybe check to see if there's a dead one in there. That 1 might be a good combination with the 15. Looks like what he's looking at now. Yeah, it was a tough combination, off angle. Didn't leave Hector a long time shot with 1. Hector has got to be careful if he goes after the 1. I mean, depending on the angle he has, if it's kind of straight in, he's on the rail, he really can't play a stop shot. If he has to kind of roll this in, he might glance off the 2 and end up in the same pocket if the 1 goes in. He's going to jack up and try and stop it. He played a good shot. He can get enough on it. Now, the 8 goes in that corner after he takes the 2 out. So if he plays the 2 and gets back up to the center of the table, he can use the 8 to break into him. The 15 might also be able to go in. I can't tell if he can get the cue ball in there enough to make it in that corner, because it looks like it goes by the 6. Well, he's got a real thin shot now on that 2 ball, so he's going to cut this in now and go into the stack. And sometimes you just got to fire at it because he's got no other choice. Depends on where he hits it. If he goes off that 8 the wrong way, he might not get a good spread, but yeah, he kind of just pushed right through it. Now, to me, this would be a spot to take a foul because if he wants to try and play a combination, he might be playing the 5. Oh, he might be playing the 5-6. He might be able to get in there. You got to watch the foul though. Oh, yeah, it wasn't. It's a tough cut, tough angle to get on that combination. And he left Andy a good chance to keep going. He can play the. Looks like he can play the 14 into the 6. He might be able to spin one rail past the 14. I kind of like playing the combination right now. If he plays it soft and rolls forward, he's got the 9 if it goes in, or he'll have the 14 if it goes in. He doesn't have to do too much. He just got to focus on making a 6 ball and go into him later. He might not even have to go into him. Once you get to 13, after 5 goes in the bottom right, opens up to the other 2 balls. He's got some congestion now, but he might be straight in on the 5. If the 15 goes, I like playing the 15. Just have to roll it in. You'll have either the 4 or the 12. Yeah, good shot. Left the 13 open for his break. He can get on the 14 now a little bit easier. If the 15 goes, I like playing it right now. Take care of that last problem. Roll forward, push up the 7 a little bit. You can use that as a key ball. Have the 12 or 8, 12 or 4 rather. He's got to watch how he goes into the 9 right here. Contact on it. He's got a little bit of an angle. You might go one rail forward with spin and play the 15 in the bottom left. It's not a bad idea. But he's got to address that. And that'll open everything out. So it looks like that's what he's going to do. I'm going to give a shout out to Wild Eyes Creations while we got a second. Joe and Wes, they make some of the greatest pool products around. Pocket choppers, and cue holders, and t-shirts, and they make some awesome products. Check them out at wildeyescreations.com and tell them Finger sent you. All right, Andy looks like he settled down a little bit. He's starting to play a little better. Sometimes the first round, at 10 o'clock in the morning, most of these guys are still asleep. You guys out there in the pool world knows, no one's up this early. They're just going to bed at this time. Now, if he's got angle on the 11, he's got to play it now and get on that 8. He's got to get that out of there. I think I would have preferred to get that out a little sooner. Because when you play the 8, when you come back down table, see now he's got to make sure he gets on a 4 pretty good. You want to leave 1 or 2 balls down table to make it easier for you to get on something else after you go up table to play a hard shot. Because you don't want to do a lot of traveling and not be able to get on a ball. If you come straight down, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. You see what I mean? It's not the easiest really to get on 1 ball sometimes. So you guys can jot that down in your notebook for future reference. Now, I don't think he can cut the 4. He doesn't want to bank it. What I kind of like doing from here, if you can really thin it, just move it like 2 inches and roll the cue ball all the way up top on the long rail by the corner pocket. Leave Hector a really long, tough shot. It looks like he's going to try and bank at it. No, I guess he did play safe. Good shot. It's hard to tell what their intentions are from in the booth. Like I said, I'm in a van down by the river. I'm not right there in the room. They got me hidden away. we're going to have a little bit of a safety battle go on right now. Nobody wants to commit because it's a hard shot. You can thin the right side of that 4-ball and come down.
You have 3 this
He left Hector a good cut shot on it. He might be able to draw it and hold up there for the 13. You might have to hit it and come around the table. All right, Hector's going to put that one down. He does have a shot at it. Not the greatest, shot to go into him with. And he might be smart just to kind of roll it in and play safe from here. I mean, if he wants to get aggressive. Something I might like to do from here is play at one rail to come down to either side of the rack and play safety off that second ball. We mentioned that a couple of times. It's an excellent safety right there. That's what I like to call an aggressive safety. He comes down, he hits either the 9 or the 5, right? If he hits the 9, you're going to push the 6 down to the rail, the short rail, and you're going to push the 1 out to the long rail. It puts 2 balls in play and it prevents your opponent from going up table or down table. So that's a good aggressive safety. A lot of people don't know that too. A lot of top players you watch, they don't know that safety, and they don't want to give up their run. They want to keep going. But playing a safety like that, leaving the table still in control, and pushing out a couple of shots, puts the pressure on your opponent. See, going into that stack from there is very difficult. And now he's going to have to play a shot. He should just roll up underneath the back of the stack and be willing to take a loss right here. Because if he tries to thin it, see, he played a good shot. Spread him out, take the -1. Now it leaves your opponent in a tough spot. Try and play safe from here. I mean, he can thin, it looks like he's on the 6, I think. He can thin it and come 1 rail back to that short rail. But he leaves the 1 open, in the upper corner. If he comes too far, he leaves the 3 or the 9 in the other corner. So you're going to lose 1, but you put yourself in a position to maybe gain another 15. So don't be afraid to back scratch. Sometimes you're going down the wrong road. You got to back up and try another road. But 1 step back, 2 steps forward, folks. Now he's going to thin the 1. Oh, he just decided to play safe too. All right, again, the counter to that safe, if the guy wants to go on 1, is to do the same thing. Make sure he's on 2. Get him to go on 2 first, -2. He might play the same shot and go on 2. Then he'll play the same shot. He's on 2, -2. And then you force the guy to have to come with something. Then you force him to try and have to make a mistake. Because if he's on 2 and he does something wrong, all right, he loses 15. And if you do execute, now at least your opponent's on 2. And if he makes a mistake, you force him to lose 15. So taking the foul is a good strategy. And it's a good strategy, too, to get your opponent on that -2 before you pull the trigger. See this shot here? He come up short. He's going to leave Andy a shot in the side. So he started out with a good plan, but it kind of backfired on him a little bit. Now, Andy looks like he's got enough of an angle. He should be able to come out to the center of the table a little bit for that 9 ball. He might have it. It's hard for me to tell. But if he had that much of an angle to go that far, he could have went further and got on it. We'll see if he can see it. I can't tell if he can see enough of it. But all right, my phone's actually going to die, so I'm going to lose the chat in a minute. I'll have to go get a fresh battery. Okay, he had just enough to make it. It looks like he's still on the 3. He's got the 3 right now. 3's a good shot to go into him because the cue's going to go off that 7, and it can do some damage. and it might not go for that far up table. But he's really got to stroke through this one. Good shot. Yeah, it looks like he's calming down a little bit. I kind of like playing the 5 now and drawing into the 4. That'll break up that 4-ball cluster in the center, and he'll still have the 8, maybe the 15. He might have the 7 if he draws through him or above him. But at the minimum, he'll have the 8 in the side. So I kind of like doing that right now. And again, when you have a trouble spot like this, you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. If you let it, go and you keep picking balls off, he might just push into the. Yeah, he did draw it. He drew through it. He's got the 15, like I said. He's got the 7 in the side, so he's okay. It worked out good. But if you pick off all those balls before you go into him, he might not have had the 7. You got to leave a couple of them and get into that trouble area as soon as possible. Thank some of the sponsors of this event while we're sitting here for a second. CSI, Diamond Billiard Products, Diamond Billiards, place we're at. Simonis, Lights Out Billiard Apparel. That guy Jake is awesome, man. Check out his stuff. Aramith, Serendipity, Kamui, Predator, Jacoby Custom Cues, JP Chower Custom Cues, and I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. I could never get that name straight. Peach Hour, Peck Hour. Check out his stuff. He makes awesome equipment. He makes great cues. AccuStats. Megan Fort. You got to thank Megan. Tournament director. Peter Burrows. Without those two guys, you're not watching this event. Also, the Dorsey family for putting this on, having this great venue for us to have this event. Alright, he nudged out to 15 a bit. He got a little tricky shot now on the 4 if he wants to cut it. He might play the 6. He's gonna go in. He's gonna go into the 6, but he has to be very careful. He can just roll it in, maybe slow roll it. Because if the 6 doesn't end up in a favorable spot, at least he has the 8 in the side to go after it. He's looking at the 11, but if he can stay underneath the 15 and not touch the 15, maybe. He made sure he hit the 15 twice, and now he's in the same spot he was in, and he lost his break shot. I kind of like rolling the 4 in from here. It's a little bit of a stretch. Knock the 6 down a little bit. You might put it in the position. You can use it as a break shot from underneath the rack. And he's got the 8 of the 15 as an insurance ball. He's going to try and roll the 6 in. And that's the 2. Now, either way, he didn't hit it that well. And he caught it kind of thick. I'm going to leave Hector a chance to come to the table. But Hector's looking at a combination, it looks like. I don't think he can see that corner ball. Good shot. You can just stay in control, stay focused, and put some balls together. He's back in this match. And he's up on him. He's up on him by 30 some odd balls, but Hector has a chance to come back right here. He doesn't have the best break shot, but it's something he can work with. And when your opponent makes a mistake like that, you really have to capitalize on it. You got to put the screws to the guy and turn the heat on. If he comes with a 30-40 ball run himself right now, he's going to keep Andy in the chair, cool him off, and then we got a match now. Yeah, he had to use the bridge. It was a hard stretch. He's got a thin cut on either ball. He's got to play the 15 though. And it's going to be real hard for him to stay on the 8. He might be able to soft kind of roll the 15 in with a little bit of right. He's going to have to come up above that side pocket to where he is now, 2 rails. Give him a chance on the 8. Good shot. He got the best out of that he could. Now he's got an angle. It looks like he can roll in. He might catch the top of that stack. So we'll see if he can put this one down and keep his run going. But I'm going to get up real quick and try to get an update on that score. So I'll be right back. According to the scorecard, it's Andy Lincoln, I'm sorry. Andy Lincoln is up 44 over Hector Garcia, who has 8. But he is in control of the table right now, and he does have a break shot. He played that very nice, and he come across the rack, and he's going to end up scratching. That's very unfortunate. You know, from where he was, he played a good shot. He had 1 or 2 balls open, and it was just unfortunate that he came across the table and scratched. Drop him down 1. And Andy's going to come back to the table. It's a good look at the 15. Now, again, he should take a look at the rack. You know, he might have a dead one, and you'd much rather shoot something that's dead and take a chance of missing the 15. You know, if you go into the stack and there's a dead one, you're going to break everything up. And it's so much easier of a shot. He should be able to put this down. He's got to go into him here. He's got to be careful. He's got to go into him with a little bit of force too. There's a bit of a pocket there with that 6, 2, and 5, which looks like he's going to go right into it. He doesn't want to hit it soft and be stuck in there. If he hits a 2 ball first and comes down into the 2 and 5, he could absolutely get stuck in there. Yeah, he ended up missing the 15, but you see how he ended up getting stuck right in there? But from where he was, again, it's a tough shot. Sometimes you're playing a tough shot knowing that it's tough, but you don't have a choice. You know, you have to kind of go into it the best you can. Brings Hector back, and he's in a bit of a spot now. He's going to look to see if there's a dead one, which I don't think there is. He can maybe bank. He can maybe bank the 6, if it's the 6 or the 2. He might be able to play a safe off the 5 and then just kind of come down to the 11 maybe, but he's going to leave the 15. He might be able to play a safety off the 11 if he plays straight into the 11 to push the 7 into the 8. Then he come down, he can stay up in there and possibly not leave him a shot. And this is another spot. He might just roll into the 11 and take the foul. because this is a tough spot to be in. And if you have to pull the trigger on something like this, you might maybe want to get your opponent on 2 fouls first. You know, and don't worry about going to 100. You know, you're not losing balls and you have to go further. If you're going to run to 100, you're racing to 115. That's not a big deal. You know, make the extra balls. Don't worry about taking the back scratch. Put the guy on 2 first, on -2. Give him a chance to make a mistake and lose another 15 before you have to commit to something. That's not a bad shot. He can just roll onto the 11 and let it sit there. He can hit it firmly and maybe come up onto the 5, you know, just back where he is now, because the 11 hits the 7 and it comes down off the 8. The 11 might push out the 1 and 13. As long as the 11 doesn't hit the 14, or the 10 rather, you know, to disturb stuff, it might be a good spot to sit in. All right, now what Andy needs to realize is that Hector's on 2 right now. So what Andy should do, if he can, is just roll up onto the 11. Or maybe kind of roll up and touch the 10. Put him in a spot where he can't get to a rail. And the fact that he's on 2, because when he broke the rack, he came 1 rail and scratched. I believe he's on 2 fouls. If Andy just rolls into the 10, he won't be able to get to that long rail for or the short rail is to set for a safety. I think if Andy does anything other than that, it's a mistake. Yeah, just roll right onto that 10 ball. And do not try to play safe on this. You know, just touch it, take the foul, and let your opponent, because now your opponent has to do something. Nice and easy. Perfect. Almost perfect. Because now Hector's, I believe, is on 2. And he's going to have to do something. If he plays the 6, I mean, he might be able to thin the 6 and go 1 rail or 2 rails up table. That's all he can do. He's going to leave a shot, and he's going to end up with a shot. Okay, and here's another thing that you guys might pick up. I'm going to drop some more knowledge on you. Hector should not be afraid right now to take a 3rd scratch, lose the 15. Actually, it would be a total of 16. He loses 1 more for the 3rd foul, and then the 15, which is okay. It'd be -10, but he's not going to give Andy a shot at an open table. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you're going to 100? All right, go to 110. What's the difference? Anything is better than giving your opponent an open look at the table. And Andy's at 44 right now. He only needs 56, you know. He only needs 4 racks. So I'd rather do that, I think, myself. I'd rather lose the points knowing I'm not going to give him an open shot at running out. He's going to try he's trying some miracle 6 off the 12 or 8 off the 12. I think it's a 6 off the 12. You've got to be careful he doesn't foul when he follows through. He's got to hit this hard. You know what? Oof. This could end badly. It could go. I mean, he's got a chance. He got the 9 there as a little bit of a help. Nope. And he's going to leave Andy a shot in the 12 to get things going. You see? Don't be afraid to take that foul. Even if it leads to -15. So what? You're going to 100 anyway. Go to 115. What's the big deal, right? You don't give the guy an open table. Now, if Andy can capitalize on this, before you know it, he might win the match right here off Hector's mistake by just choosing the wrong shot. He might be able to slow roll this to get on the 8. Knock him off the 6. 2. Again, I apologize. It's really tough for me to tell the colors because of the screen. It's got like a yellow tint to it. Now he's way up table. He's got a tough shot. Check the stack, man. See if something's dead. You never know. There may be a carom. Anything easier than trying to cut one of these balls in. I can't tell if he gets the cue ball past the 15. If it looks like the 2 ball. Or he's just going to have to play the 6. I kind of like just playing this. Come across one rail, a little bit of bottom, maybe a little bit of left, just a touch. Stay above the 15, so you got that other solid in the bottom right-hand corner, or you got the 15 there. Yeah, you chose to go into it. You got okay. You still got shots. Now, if the 8 goes by the 7, I like playing the 6-1 rail. And then going to him with the 8. Soft draw shot. I don't think you heard me. I said soft draw shot. But he's still got a shot on the 8. He might play the 9-7 might be on. He plays the 8, he comes one rail, he gets on the 15, might be able to get into him with the 15. He went 2 rails, he's on the 4, that's a good shot. He can come down into him now. He's got to be a little careful because he doesn't have any insurance. But you would think, though, 8 balls right there. If he hits him firm, he's got to follow through. I play it with high right, the right-hand spin, and stroke it. That might be just enough. I think he's got the 7. He kind of tied everything up along the long rail. You got to play the 7 if he has it. That'll at least give him the 3. 3 can get him anywhere else he needs to go. He's going to have to play some kind of combination maybe on that 13, 15, 14. You don't want to push the 1 in there. He might be able to get on the 1. He might be able to see the 1. Maybe not right now, or maybe right now. Be a little aggressive, I think. You can draw the 3 to get better position on the 1 to go into him. You can play the 1 straight in, or maybe off the 15. You might play the 11 right here to get a good angle on the 1. But he's got to do something to break them out. And I think if you can't see the 1 directly, if the 13's in the way, then he plays it off the 15. Opens everything up. 15 should bank out and maybe take the 13 with it. Opens a pocket for that 10. There you go. Kind of worked it out. Did a good shot there. You get on the 13 or the 15. From here, I kind of like playing the 13. 13 maybe to get on the 9, to get on the 5, because he might be able to cut the 15 and go into him. It's kind of tough to tell what the actual angle is, but yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out what the guys are going to do. I mean, he might play this into that 13 and the 9 and have an angle off the 5 to go into him 1 rail. It's kind of a hard shot because you're going into that side of that stack. You'll have to come across 2 rails to get good on this 5. Yeah, he made the ball, but he ended up straight in on the 5. So again, this brings up that safety shot I was talking about. He can almost stop it right where it is and then roll into that second ball. again, if you guys are just joining us, my name is Michael Van Stubiner. You know me as Mikey Fingers out there. Fingers in the booth again. We're coming to you live from Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia, right outside Richmond. Come on down, enjoy some of the best straight pool action in the world this week. American 14.1 straight pool championships going on until Saturday. Stop in and say hello. We'd love to see you. Now, he probably played safe and drew it back, which is a good shot. I kind of like playing a safe off the 3 because from here, Hector has a good response from here. And plus, Andy loses that one ball that he just made. But that was an okay break. Andy's going to come off the bottom of the stack one rail, put it back on that end rail. But like I said, you gave him a response because there was nothing open. Had there been 1 or 2 balls open, Hector couldn't have played that safety. So I'm going to get up real quick and double check that score and update it for you. I'll be right back. Andy's leading 57-5 according to the scoreboard. And now we're just going to have a little bit of a nip and tuck session until something opens up. He's going to have to play it safe. Looks like off the 6. And again, spin it down one rail. He's got a big wall of balls there to block as defense in case he pushes something out a little bit. All right, Hector actually has a couple of good shots from here. Ideally, Andy would have pushed him further over. But yeah, Hector's got a good shot on that 6 right there. He can just play a stop shot, sneak up into that. Okay, he didn't call the combo, but yeah, I thought he could have just drew onto the stack from there. But now when they put that ball back, if it doesn't go up top, he might trap the cue in there. No, he had room to put it, okay. Now Andy can play off the 12, it looks like, and come one rail again, back under the stack. He's got to look, though, maybe that 12-5 is, maybe that 15-5 is dead. Don't play a safety to the left side of the table if that's dead, because he can easily get into it. Yeah, now if Andy was smart, he'd have to look at that 15-5. Don't miss something and allow your opponent to take it. You know, right now he's looking at the 14-2, which if that goes, don't think it does. It doesn't look like he wants to run off and fire at it. So he's got to play thin off the 4 and come back to where he's at. Yeah, he's looking at that 15-5. Yeah, we mentioned that a minute ago. You know, you can't play safety over here if something like that's dead. You might be able to play the 10 into the 15 and put the 5 down, and he's off and running again. Kind of like that. Didn't really get the spread I thought he would get. You know, a couple of balls maybe could have loosened up. He's got a slight angle on that 6, and it looks like the 12 might go past the 4. He's got to look though. Actually, the 3, 13, 15 might be dead in the left-hand side. I kind of like playing like just a little bit of a stun draw to get back towards the center of the table. Maybe a foot past where he is now. He might be able to get to that 4-ball. 4-ball goes in the bottom right. Yeah, he tried to push into a 1 rail. Now he might have a combination on the 14. He might have the 13 in the side. He might have the 10 in the side. I can't tell if the 8 goes by the 4. He wants to play he's playing something. Looks like he's playing the 3-12. I guess you can't see the other 2 stripes up table for the side pocket. Yeah, good shot. Kind of opened everything up a little bit. He might be straight in on the 15. Looks like from here, the bottom ball might go. That's a good shot. He's on the 13. 13 might go on the left side past the 5, past the 15. If not, he's got the 3. He's going to play that 13 and draw back a little bit and try and get on the 8 or the 4. If he's straight on the 3, I like drawing back almost to like the side rail there where he's at and then going into him off the 8. He'll have the 4-ball right there. He's got to get into him sooner than later. Slight angle on the 3 and he decided to come into him. Now he's got to play a tough cut, it looks like, on that 8-ball. Good shot. You can see though, he's just not getting the separation that he wants. You can play the 7 and go up into him. I think that's a good shot from here actually, because if he goes off that 14, either side of the 14, he's going up table where the 4 is, so he's got a little insurance if he doesn't hit it solid and break him up. He could play the 10 in the side, it looks like, and draw into him, but that's not going to guarantee him a shot. You know, I think he's got to take a chance going into him right here. The only shot he's going to have after that is 14 into the bottom right, but trying to get onto it. You know, once you take away all the shots that you have, it makes it that much harder. See, at least now he's got a cut in the 4 maybe. He might even be able to play the 4 right now and come 2 rails and go into him. If he can't hold it for anything else. Looking at the 1-9. Oh, it looks like he's playing a 10. He's going into him. Worked out good. The 9-ball cooperated too, you know. He got a little help from there for the 9. Otherwise, he'd have another maybe difficult shot. But he did put a break shot, and he just went rail first and squeaked it in. He wanted to get up table a little bit. Now, I like playing the 11 if it goes from here. Play the 11 or the 14. If you play the 5 from here, I mean, chances are you're probably going to get a good shot, but no need to nudge the 11. I don't like that really, because you could tie him up, you could push the 14 into a bad spot. Oof, you see, if he didn't come down far enough, he stuck behind the 11. That was a little risky, but he got away with it. Got a slight angle on the 11 to work with. You might be able to draw it back for the 4. Might be able to kind of just like punch it up table. Same ball. Good shot. Yeah, Andy's starting to play good now. He's starting to get in control. He's not giving Hector a chance at the table. He came down good for that one, so he's starting to run away with this match. Although Hector's not going to be out of it yet. Again, we've been talking about it all week. It's the round robin stage. Although now that it's getting closer towards the knockouts, these guys have played 2 or 3 maybe matches, maybe 4 matches. Now it's getting a little bit more critical that the ball count goes up. You know, that they have to put balls down. Because if you lose 100-5, let's say, because you didn't have the greatest win-loss record getting to this point, now you're definitely not going to get into the knockout stages. But if you have 2 and 3, let's say, or 3 and 3, but you have a high ball count, you still have a chance of getting in. All right, they're going to respot that. I'm going to step up and get the updated score. I'll be right back. Lincoln is up 70-5 over Hector Garcia. He's at the table right now. And he missed a break shot, giving Hector a good chance to come back and put some balls down. He can play a stop shot right there. A little angle on the 2. Now we can draw into him kind of. Again, doesn't have to really pound him. If he hits the 8-3, he could still have a shot at the 6. If he goes through him the other way, he's still got a shot, it looks like, on the 10. Actually, I think that's the 14. Got to figure out just how to go back into him again. I don't know if he could spin forward past the 6-2 rails to get on the 5. That would be ideal. I like kind of just playing it soft and not that soft. Just maybe to get the 6 out of the way, because if he gets on the 5, the 3 would have won. He could have broken him up with that, but he's trying to see if he has anything in there. From here, I kind of like putting the 15 and going up by that upper right-hand corner pocket. You're going to leave Andy something. You got to leave a hard shot. He's looking to see if maybe the 7 goes on the side. If he can get the Q in there. I don't think he can. Maybe the 7 goes in the corner. I'm trying to see what he's looking for. He might have to mess it. Looks like he's right up on the 14, though. I don't think he can do that. You could back scratch again. I mean, that's another possibility. At this point, though, I mean, he wants to keep moving forward because your opponent's only got 30. He only needs 30. So ideally, you can't safety way into a championship. Sometimes you have no choice. He's gonna play a flyer right here, trying to combo the 9 into the side with the 15. And again, he's got to be careful. He's going to hit it such that, the cue ball might end up going up table. Might be okay. 15 might go up with him. And he'll have something else. That was a good shot. He's fighting hard to stay in it. He doesn't want to give this up. He's got a chance right now off the 15 to go back into him. And he really has no open shots. He can't really kind of pick and choose. He can play the 5 and then maybe take the 7 out. 7 will get him to the 11. 11 gets him to the 3, which opens up the 1. I like going into him right here. I hit the 14. then the 14's open to the lower left, and that opens up, once the 6 goes away, it opens up the 8 and 12 to the bottom right. So you can get the greatest kiss there to try and break him up. He didn't really even need to go into him right there, but trying to make something happen. He might have to have a cut on this 5 ball. Oof, that's brutal. It's going to be a thin cut. They actually overcut it. Yeah, I think he's kind of struggling right now. And he's in a much better position right now. He only needs 30. He's got an open table. He might be able to use the 7 as a break. He might be able to create something though. He's got a lot of options right here. Might be able to play the 5 right now and push the 10 over, or the 14 over if he hits it as a break shot. No, I'm not sure you can even see the 11 from where he's at. He might be able to. He might have that if he's fortunate enough to have that one. He might have the 5 too if you can't see the 11. And he might have that 14, it looks like. He can play the 11. I kind of like leaving the 12 there and use the 8 as a break shot, 1 rail into him. He's got the 3 from underneath, but ideally you would want to use the 8 maybe to get on that. Yeah, the racks, nothing seems to be cooperating right now, which happens. And Hector really needed that to stay in this match. No, I think he can play the 12, 14, 5 and have a shot on the 3. From here, that's his best option. I didn't want too much of an angle on the shot. I kind of like just rolling this in, center ball, and take what you get. If he wants to try and hit and come 2 rails, you know, if he overhits it and loses his angle, or if he underhits it, you know, you got position right here. Don't play position if you already got it, right? So you guys know Buddy Hall's famous quote. He's okay from here if he plays this with a high right. Comes 1 rail. You got to watch out for that cross-side scratch, though. That's big. All right, they're going to update the scorecard. I'm going to take a peek out and see what it says. I'll be right back. All right, Hector is mounting his comeback. He's at 16. Andy Garcia. I keep saying that. Good actor, by the way. But Andy Lincoln's at 73. And Hector's kind of going to be hindered by the 15. He's going to play the 5. I think he just soft roll it and then take the cut on the 6 on the side next. He's going to come back down and go into it. He kind of rolled that a little harder. Maybe he had more angle than it looked. He can play the 15 too. He's straight in line with the 15. But he's got to get to something else from there. He could stop it, maybe have the 13 bottom left. Or cut of the 4 or the 6. He can play the 6 now. Good shot. And it looks like he's got the 13 at cooperated with. Now he really doesn't have to go back into him. Everything is open. Everything has a pocket. You just have to pick them off. I like going to the 1 right here, which will get you to the 8 and 12. Or if he plays a little inside, he can get on the 8. Leave the 1 there as your key ball. You can play this 15 to get on the 11 to 12. Because I think they'll both go in its bottom left-hand corner. Take the 12 out and draw back for the 11 next. And then you can draw back again and play the 14 in that same pocket. Then you just got to roll down a little bit and probably play the 4 next and get one rail, get on that 7 or the 10. And then move the 8 as his break shot. If you want to stay above him, that's all right too. You know, it's more than one way to get out. He just has to play the 7 and leave a little bit of an angle on that 4 to come up off that end rail. He decided to roll out and get away from him. Sometimes it's good to get out away from the balls. You don't want to be so tight up on them. Sometimes it's easier when you got a little distance. But from here, he can play the 2-1 and then a 10. It looks like come 2 rails for the 8. Or he can play the 2 and 10 and get on the 1, which will lead him to the 8. He can do this any way he wants. If he plays the 2 and he wants to use the 10 as his key ball, I like drawing right back to where he is now. So you have a natural 2 rail angle to get on that 8. Instead now he's going to have a thin cut. He might have to draw it. If he plays 1 rail, he's coming across with spin. He's going to come across his target line. It's kind of hard to judge. You can either overhit it or underhit it real easy. See, like he overhit that one a little bit. Now he's got a real thin cut. The good news is that he's going to hit the pack. He just has to make sure he puts the 8 down. You guys are watching the American 14.1 Straight Blue Championships. We're coming Coming to you live from Diamond Billiards in Midlothian, Virginia. You guys got to come down here and say hello. When you're here, you got to thank Thomas Dorsey and his family, and all the people at Diamond Billiards, the staff. They're putting on a great show for you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm going to thank Megan Fort and Peter Burrows, your tournament director, and then your founder and chairman, along with all the other people who are helping to put this event together so that you guys can enjoy it. Good shot. 13 came down to help him out. He is kind of straight in on it, so not the greatest leave, but he can work with it. I mean, he can come forward one rail with spin, maybe break out to 15 and 6 if he's got enough of an angle, maybe go past it to get on the 1, or maybe have a combination. I don't know if he can play the combo on the 15. You might be able to draw back a little bit, get angle on the 2 ball on the side. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. So he can go forward off the 2, maybe push out the 4. He might play the 5. He's got a bunch of things he can do. He's going to look for combos and stuff. The 11-10 looks like it might be dead in the corner. Actually, it looks like 11-14. See where he gets from here. He could play the, he might be able to, no, I don't know if he can play the 9-3 from where he's at. I'm not sure if the cue goes past the 1 enough. Might. Well, like I said, he might have the combination right there at the 11. If that goes, that'll be real big for him. That'll open up most everything. He just has to come down and get that 15 ball figured out. Good shot. He does have an angle on the 11 to go back into him. Doesn't really need to, but he has no choice from here, and I like that. Soft roll it. Maybe push out to 14, and maybe push out to 7 as a break. He'll have the 5. It looks to go back down and get that 6 and 15 taken care of. There you go. I'm going to step out real quick and update the score for you. All right, Hector is starting to climb back into this match. He's now only trailing by 43. He's down 73-30, but he's at the table. I believe he's got most of this rack under his belt, and he's looking to keep going. There's no reason he needs to stop now. He's got the 7 as a break shot, a little high, but he can work with it. He might be able to create something else, but he's got real no issues right here. Once he takes care of this 9-3. Worked out good. Put the 1 ball in a good spot to maybe break something else out. He used it as a key ball for the 7. So from here, he's doing pretty well. He might play the 1 now, maybe nudge the 7 down a little bit into a better position and still have the 8 or 6. So he's got a good shot right here. He can play the 9 to get a better angle on the 1 to knock out the 7 a little bit. But I think if the 7 goes, sometimes you just got to leave it where it is and accept that that's going to be a break shot. Try not to, make something better because you can only screw it up. If you hit it too hard or too firm and you knock it away from the rack, there goes the only break shot you had. an angle, it looks like. 4. I think he's got to play it. He can play it and just roll down a touch and cut the 15 in 1 or 2 rails to get out of the trouble. But the 6 ball will be open at that point. It all depends on the angle he has. If he has to draw back off the 6, I suggest he keep that kind of firm to make sure he comes up above the 7. You know, this way he's not stuck behind the 7 with no shot. Yeah, he can cut the 15 now and come 2 rails back for that 6. Or if he has to go further and play the 15 or the 14. So he's pretty good from here. Good shot. He's going to come up with right. That's okay too. Now he's got a good chance to maybe roll into the 7. Give himself a better angle to go into him. He'll still have the 12 if he wants. If not, like I said, he can just accept that and that's what he's going to get. This is kind of off angle here. From here, I kind of like going forward off the 12 to 14. 3 rails. I'm not sure if he can hold it to stay on the 12. He might be able to do that. Oh, yeah, okay, good enough. Good shot. That angle on the 12 to come 1 rail. That hit it kind of hard though. If you couldn't hold that, then you got to go forward 3 rails to get the same angle. He's starting to play better though, and he's getting closer to just the link in the score. He's going to make it a match. Like I said, he's trying to get those balls on his side. He's trying to get a higher ball count in case he doesn't have 4 wins, 5 wins. You can still get in with a 3-3 record or a 3-2 record. The ball count's high enough. Overhit that one a little bit, but he's still good. He's still got a good shot on the 7. He can come right into him with a high ball, hit the top of the stack. Sometimes it's preferable hitting the top of the stack because you're not going to scratch in that corner pocket. You just got to be careful with the 1 round across. That side pocket's pretty big. Alright, down that whole rack, so I'm going to give him 44 to 73. I'll stick my head out in a second to see if that's accurate. And again, he can play a punch shot off the top of this rack and come out. He wants to get away from the stack. You don't want to stay in there. He can glance off the top and push out enough to get another shot. Excellent shot. A little unfortunate with the leave, though, to be honest. He played a really good shot there. All 3 of them came out to that side rail. He's going to have to play the 9. I like playing a 9 here as opposed to the 4 because it becomes 1 rail. He might be able to go into the 8 or the 10 to kind of break up that congestion a little bit. If he plays the 4 and comes 1 rail, he's got to watch out for that side pocket. And he might end up in the same spot he is now. Yeah, he's going to come back to where he is now. Oh, that's a good shot. He was fine. He's got the 8. All right, that helps clear things up. That's a good shot. like to get the 9 out. If you could, opens the pocket up for the 6, which will open everything else up. One rail, get on the 1. There's a couple of things you can do from here. Stay on the 3, go 1 rail into it. That's a good shot too. If you can split the 15 in 2, not too hard. You don't want to push all the break shots away. Just kind of pop it in there a little bit. Good shot. It opens him up. He's got a shot on the 9. He's got a shot on the 1, it looks like, too. But once the 1 goes, the 14 might go. 2 looks like it goes in the bottom left. That'll open up the 6. So he can play the 9 down. Go into the 5. I like going into the 5 from here. Doesn't have to hit it hard. You don't want to try and tie the 5 up with the rail or near that point. Good shot, 1 rail out. Now it's an excellent key ball. And he can use it as a break shot if he has to, but from here he should be okay. Maybe get a better angle on the 2 with the 10 ball right now. Get that out of the way. It opens up the 6. Yeah, he really doesn't need to go into him anymore, but he does have to kind of create a break shot. Now, if he's got an angle on the 2, I like coming 2 rails for either the 1 or the 6. If he's got the right angle on it too, he can kind of draw back a little bit, enough to play the 6 in the side and roll forward into that 12. Push out the 14 as a break, and he'll have the 5 in the side. That'll solve the problem if he's got that angle, if he sees it. Yeah, he came back to 1 rail. He's gonna have to play his key ball right now. He might have the combination of 14-1. That's a good shot. I'd play that first. Man, it's kind of hard to see how the cue's going to come off that ball. He might be able to draw back into the 6 and just knock it out of the rack. If he rolls over the top of the 12. I think if he's got that one ball, that 14-1, if that's pretty straight, you got to play it. He's already got position for it. He's not going to get back to that same spot again. Good shot. Push the 14 down for a break shot underneath the rack now. That works. He's going to have to accept that. If he plays the 6, I like playing the 6, getting on to 15 next to play the 5. 5 will get him easily to the 12, which will easily get him to the 14. A lot of times, if you got to get position on this whole ball, you want to do it from another ball that's down here. You don't want to have to get position to it from 15. That's a tough shot. Even the 5, trying to get down here, it could be a tricky shot. But if you can get good angle on the 12, it's simple and you're right there. So we're going to see how he decides to get on this 14. Yeah, he's going to play the 15 and get an angle on the 5 to come down. I like doing this first, this way he hit the 12 next, as his key ball. Now he's got a thin cut on the 5. You should be okay. You might be too thin to hold it, on that bottom rail. He might come up too high. Kind of hard to tell. He might be able to play it with a left English, kind of like a high left. All right, I guess maybe take a timeout. I'm going to thank the sponsors while they're having their timeout. CSI, Diamond Billiard Products, Diamond Billiards, the place we're at now, Simonis Cloth, Lights Out Billiard Apparel, Pyramid Balls, Kamui, Serendipity, Predator, Jacoby Custom Cues, JP Tower Custom Cues, AccuStats, Thomas Dorsey family, and his partners and the staff here at Diamond Billiards. They do a great job. Peter Dorsey, who you see now cleaning the ball, Megan Ford, the tournament director, and all the other people that have put time in to help make this the event that it is. So if you guys get a chance, come on down, stop by, say hello. Well, he's going to have real thin on the 14. Yeah, it was a tough shot. You see, when you got to get on that low ball for your break shot, you want to be as close to it as possible with your key ball, so you don't have to do a lot of work. You know, you had a thin cut on the 5, you had to come 2 rails. It's real hard to spin it and get the position you need, you know, from that angle. Now, I don't recommend him. He might have to just cut at it. You know, this is kind of one of those do or die shots. But I'm gonna step up real quick and get an update for the score, so don't go anywhere. All right. Hector Garcia is now, you know, he's crawling his way back into this match. He's down 58-73 against Andy Lincoln. He does have a cut shot on this ball. He's going to go into him. You can't really play this with a left or right. You know, you're hitting half a ball, you're hitting the top side of a ball. You just got to hit it with a high ball and strike through it. Unless you want to play safe, which is a good shot. You know, you don't want to destroy the pack. And he doesn't want to give Andy a shot back at a wide open table, you know. He wasn't certain he was going to make it. But Andy does have a couple of choices from here to get out of the safety. Yeah, he played a good shot. He left Hector the 14, it looks like. So he's easily going to come off of that right back down to where he is now, 2 rails. And now he kind of puts that ball in play so that Andy really can't go up table. He's got to be careful how he plays this safety right here. He's going to try and hit the 3 firm. He just has to hold it up and come down like the 11. But I think he's actually frozen on the 3, which would be a great result. Yeah, if he's not frozen, obviously it was a bad result, and I don't think he is actually. I think he's on C11. So Hector's not out of this match yet. You figured he was down 70 something to 5, I think. You know, he had a big deficit to overcome, and he did a good job so far. You know, he's right back in it. I think nothing separates these 2 guys. He's going a little over a rack of balls. Looks like Hector's going to use the 10 ball and go into him from here. which he can get into. You know, I mean, again, he doesn't even really need to go into this. He's got the 9 as a break shot. He's got key balls. If he can just pick out the 6, 6 allows him easy access to put the 3, and 3 looks like it goes by the 8, and that opens up the bottom right-hand corner pocket for the 8 and 12. So you might not even need to go into the 8. I don't like spinning 2 rails forward here because he's really only playing for the 1 ball. And I'd rather be playing for a different pocket. And he's got a shot on the right here. I might give him a shot on the 6. He can play the 6 now to go into the 3. With a high level of safety because the floor is down here, and he will break up the rest of that problem. He just has to make sure he doesn't push anything out and tie something else up. But it looks like he can roll. I think he would roll the 6 and a little bit of left. He's got a good angle now on the 6. He can play it and put the 3 goes by the 8. Yeah, he plays the 6 and he plays the 3. Opens up that pocket on the right hand side there for the 8 12. Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks of hitting balls when you don't have to. You know, if they're already loosened up. It's one of the guidelines that we talked about. You know, if they're not touching, don't go into them because you can only mess them up. Again, it's a guideline. Sometimes you have to go into them, but in this particular case, he didn't have to go into them. And now he's going to have to work really to get on that or break him out without losing his break shot. He can play it right now, I guess, to get angle on the 3. To give him angle on the 15 to go into him. And still have the 5 as insurance. And he just wants to touch him. I think he can come forward too, 2 rails if he wants to try and get on the 12. But if he doesn't get on the 12, then he's in real trouble. He might come 1 rail into him. Played that very nice. He's on the 12. He's going to draw it back a little bit, I think. If he goes forward, he might nudge the 9. If he's not going to hit it, yeah, he rolls forward. Good, he's on the 15. Good shot. He's got the 5 still. I like playing the 15 now. If the 15 does not go past the 9, I like playing it right now. Because if you get bad on that 14, you get on the 15, you lose the pocket. You can't play it. He doesn't like it though, but he's almost straight in on it. I think he can play it. He can play it right now with a high level of accuracy and get on that 5. 5 will lead him to that 14. It looks like 10. And if he gets straight in on that one, he's got his angle on the 9. But he can manipulate the angle a little bit. I don't like it. He's going to play the 5, go up 10 for that strike. So now he has to make sure he gets on the right angle. He's got to hit some balls kind of perfect and just get on that 15 again. Now he can roll again. If the 15 goes past the 9, he's in good shape. But I don't think it does. Because you look, at where he's going to play the 15. Now he's got to get perfectly straight on this one. He's got a little bit of an angle. He's got to draw 1 rail with spin now. Now he's got to work to get on that 9. And he knows it too. He's a little upset with himself. But he should be okay. If he plays it with a bottom right, he should be able to spin it 1 rail and get an angle on the 9 and go back into it. But that's what I meant. Get rid of that 15 ball first. much easier to get on him the other way. But if he puts this one down, I believe he got the whole rack, and he's going to be at 60. He's going to be at 72. We got a game now, folks. Yeah, he didn't like it. He didn't stroke it well. And he's going to give Andy a really good shot at the 15 to stay on the 9. You can cut it in the left hand, that side pocket. I like maybe just a touch of left hand spin off the end rail to maintain that angle on the 9. He really kind of killed it. Fortunate if it goes in the rack. Nope. Only got the one ball out of it. So I believe I want to wait for him to put the score up. I'll go outside and take a quick peek. It's going to be 73 to 40. 73. It's going to be 71, I think. Let me go double check, see what they put up. Yeah, we got a match now, folks. Andy Lincoln is only leading by 3 balls right now against Hector Garcia. 74 to 71. Plus whatever happens at this rack. It's a close match, race to 100. We only need 2 racks left. So Hector was down a lot in this match, and he fought his way back into it. He might have put the brakes on Andy right there. A lot of times when you got a big lead on somebody and you end up starting to play bad and you miss a shot, if your opponent comes back on you, it does a number psychologically. It kind of messes with your head a little bit. See which one of these guys can stay in control the longest and put this match on. Shot by Hector. You gotta hope that 11 can go up to 5. That 6, that's sitting real good there by that side pocket. Because Andy's gonna be in a tough spot. That 6 ball is huge right there. It takes up that whole side of the table takes it away from Andy. Using it as a safety. Andy's going to try and play to that corner pocket a little bit. Maybe try and double him up on the side and give him a long, tough shot at the 3. Safe, take a scratch, play to 14, just roll into the 14. Try and jack up. Yeah, I don't like that. You gotta hope it comes back far enough. And not too far to push out the 3. Yeah, I think he might have gave Hector a shot the 3 ball. He might have the 3, might have the 11.
Players other than the last 4 matches, 16 and 50.
Yeah, I think you can see
Now we have Hector's movie on table 7. Went first one on table 2, topping off is on Walter on table 3. Shaw and Hunter on table 10, or Coro and Davis on table 4. Those players may lag for break.
He's got a shot on the 2. He's going to come down maybe one rail. He's going to play the 11 in the side right now, by in the corner. He's going to leave that 6 ball by the side as his insurance ball. He's got to get this one apart. Really, it's a good break right here. This could be the break that turns this whole match. And that'll work. He's got the 7. He's got the 14 on the bottom to go back into him if he needs. He doesn't really have to at this point, but everything kind of opened up right there. You can go into him with the 4. Once he puts the 7 down, he gets back on that 4 ball, comes around the table. He's going to take the lead right now from Andy. I think he's going to look to see if, I like seeing if the 10 goes past the 15. If that happens, he can either get on it right now. He wasn't looking for that, but I would have gave him a shot on the 4 ball to help break him out, and he still would have had the 6 as insurance. Now he might have to play the 5 to get on it. He can cut the 6 from here, I think. I don't know if he can't go into him. He's taking away his insurance right there. Then that's a real big ball, that 6. If he gets stuck with anything else down here, he'll have the 6, but if he has to play around it now. I'm going to have to play the 5 and draw maybe onto the 15 or 10 in that side pocket. And that'll give him the perfect angle on the 4 to nudge him out a little bit and still have the 6. So he just wants to get straight in on that 14. That goes past the 15, that was good enough. He just got to play a stop shot and roll into him a little bit. Looks like the 12 is going to push the 8 out maybe. That'll give him a good break shot. It's going to come down and knock out the 13. Open the 1 up. It should work. He didn't have I guess it didn't go past. He had to play the 15, which is okay, but now he's in a bit of a spot because you can't get into him with the 14. You might be able to draw 1 rail. I either had to come forward 2 rails to get on the 4. 4 will still break him up, and he's going to keep that 6 ball. I like leaving that 6 ball. It's his insurance. He can thin it maybe and go into him, but again, it's a little bit risky. You've got 6 balls left to get on. You guys that play pool know, man, you don't have to get a shot. Pool gods are fickle, man. They don't like this stuff, just when you think you got an easy out. They'll throw a skid your way or something. But he should be okay. He's on the 4. He's got enough angle to punch out balls. You didn't get that 15, had 12 and 1 separated. It's going to make things a little tougher. The 8 really, 8's a good break shot, but if he might be able to play the 8 and go into the 12 now, if he comes off the top of the 12, he's got, looks like the 14. If he comes off the bottom of that 12, he's got the 13. It's not the most ideal shot, but that's what he's got to deal with. Good shot. He's got a little thinner cut on the 13 than he would have liked. He could play the 12 in the corner and roll it in. It's a tough shot. I think I like that actually better than playing that 13. Because that 13 might lead to that upper right-hand corner pocket with the cue ball. He might go off the 12 and not end up in that nowhere area. Good shot. He's on that 14. You get him on the 1 and he's going to use that 13 for the stack. Worked out good. Now he's going to take control of this match. He might be at 85. Andy's 74. So he worked his way back into good position here to take control of this match. And he's going to lead. He's only going to need 15. He's going to need the next rack and one more ball. Which, from where he started out, is more than welcoming to him. And like I said at the beginning, don't be afraid to back scratch. Don't be afraid to lose a couple of balls. If you're going to go to 100, all right, go to 110. It's a little off the rail, but he's pretty good from there. He just cuts it in, high ball. He's going to have to force it through the stack. He's going to have to get fortunate. He comes off one side of that ball on the bottom. Kind of glance towards the side rail a little bit, because if he kind of hits, let's say, the second ball on the right full, he's going to stick underneath the rack. But if you can get a little bit of a glance off that middle ball, if you can glance off the 5, you should be able to put him outside the stack. If he hits that 3 ball full in the face, things don't have to end up that well. But I'm going to jump out real quick and get an update with that score, so hang on one second. Did take control of the match, but he overcut the 13. Just going to leave Andy in real good shape. Now, if I was Andy, I would take a swing at him right here with the 2 ball. That 13 is huge in that pocket. He's going to play the second 12 into it. And he's going to have to work his way around the rack. It's still going to work out okay. He can come 2 rails to get back on the 2 or the 8. But you can see he's not comfortable now. He's been sitting for a while. He kind of cooled off a little bit. And looks like he's going to start struggling again. He might have the 8 aside, 1 rail to the 15. But you definitely don't want to be shooting this one from where he was at. He could have easily came 2 rails. But like I said in the beginning, I would have played the 2 into the 13. Such a big pocket, big ball with that pocket right there. He didn't have to really do much, just make the ball, and he would have spread the whole rack open. Now he's going to go into him with the 8. The balls are kind of loose right there. So he's not going to get the best spread right here. In fact, you might not see holding anything move. Just the 6 and the 11. The 11 goes by the 5. Not the greatest spread right there. If they're open enough and the 5 is down low enough, he can go into him again when he gets down there. And he's got 1 or 2 break shots. 6 is a little high, but 2 balls a little high. He can work with it though, so he should be able to put this rack away, regain the lead right here. I like drawing this back a little bit, maybe get an angle on that 6, come down under him and go into him with the 5. Doesn't have the greatest angle for that though. You gotta be careful it doesn't scratch. Should be able to hit the long rail though. And he did brush into him. Good shot. Pushed out to 10. Alright, everything is open. I like playing the 10. From right here, if you can maybe just thin the 10 a little bit, maybe clip that 14. You know, if he doesn't clip the 14, fine. He'll have the 15 in the corner. He can come back down and start working them again. But I don't think you can expect to make the 15 and get better position on that 10. I like just rolling this in and just clipping at 14 a little bit. A little unfortunate to end up on the end rail. I mean, he's got a long shot on the 15, which from here might be his best option. He might be able to play with a high ball and come one rail down for the 7, but it looks like he's going to cut this ball and he'll be okay if he hits the 7. Good shot. Good shot. And that worked out very nice. He's got a 3 ball as a break shot. 6 would be a key ball, but he's going to have to play it. He's going to have to use the 5 as his key ball, I think. Because from the 6, he goes to the 15. He's going to go between the 2 of them right here. He's going to have to get on the 7 with the 15. He can come forward 2 rails with right hand spin. Even 1 rail would be fine with right hand spin. That should get him to the 7, which will get him to the 5. Tried to check it. Surprised. He's got angle on the 7. He's okay from here. Should be. I think he hits his firm and comes 2 rails, gets on the 5. Good shot. He'll end up on the 5. He should be able to work it to get back up on the 3. So if you guys are just joining us now, you're listening to Michael Van Stubener, a.k.a. Mikey Fingers in the booth. 12 o'clock round is going to be a little bit late for the TV, for the live feed, because this match here, we got a tight match going on. It's a lot closer than what it started out. And he took a big lead on Mr. Garcia, and Mr. Garcia just started to grind back in it and took control of the match. And then Andy just put this rack down, so I believe Andy's going to be at 89. I'm going to stick my head outside and just double check. I'll be right back. Yeah, Andy Lincoln is taking control, taking the lead back from Hector Garcia. He's up 89 to 84. This is the last rack that he's going to need if he can put down a good break shot right here. He's just going to try and clip the 11 and 4. The high ball will come down below him, maybe go back up 1 rail, push out a few balls. But you got to make sure you hit that 4 ball. He just wanted to touch him a little bit and hopefully get 1 shot. All right, now he's going to have to back scratch. When he hit it firm, he wanted to make sure he didn't scratch. But he did anyway, and he opened the balls up. He actually had a very good result right there. Hector might have the 1 on the side, actually. I think he's got to take a look at that. I don't think he can get to the 15 or 7. And I don't think he can play the 1 on the side either. That ended up very well, actually, for Andy. Adjust that right now. Hector's just got to thin to 1 and go back to where he is now almost. Even if he thins the 1 and kind of stays on that long rail, if It's not a bad safety shot either because everything is doubled up. He doesn't have a clear shot at nothing. You know, if he tries to thin the one and spin it and come back down under the stack. Try and play them risky shots and then you know, target line into the side pocket. He's probably going to play safe, I think. He actually played it. Good shot for him. No, he played safe. I'm sorry. I thought he would have played that. Like Andy's going to come back to the table. Andy's going to have a shot in the second. And that ball actually has to come back up, though. So Andy maybe you can see the 6 in the side also. I can't tell from here. I think he plays it with a stop. Bottom, you know, center ball and just punch out the 6 right here. Or the 2. I kind of would have liked to push out the 2 right there. Give yourself an opening now. Now he's going to play the 15. He's going to have to come down, it looks like. Almost into the 4. I don't think he can slow roll it. And if he has to hit it firm, he's got to potentially go into that corner pocket. Careful. Yeah, he left himself way uptown. And I think he could see the 4. He's going to have to roll the 4 in. This match is starting to tighten up a little bit. Played a real good shot there. Now he does have an angle on the 5 in the side to go back into him. He might be able to play the 12-13 combination. He's got to look, see what's what in there, because that's what he's looking at now. I don't think the 13 goes off the 8. Good shot. And again, he kind of let the 2 run around a little bit. He's going to have a long shot on the 6, but that's all right. I'd take it from there. Just play a simple stop shot. Right, it's actually the 2. He's going to play a simple stop shot on the 2. He'll have the 5 or the 11 next, so. Yeah, he decided to kind of roll it in. I guess he wanted to try and break him up a bit more. That's going to give Hector another shot at this. And now that he hit that one, everything is open. He's got a good break with the 2 ball. He's got a good break with the 5 ball. And I think for him at this point, he should decide right now which one he's going to use as his break shot, because he's going to have to play off either other one right now after he shoots the 1. Yeah, it's not a bad shot. Didn't end up with a good result, but he's got the 12, it looks like. He might go up for that 2 ball or the 6 ball. It's 2. All right, now he's a little bit in better position right now to take care of the rest of this rack. Got to move that 9 though. I think he plays the stripe right here, and then he plays a 9. take care of everything else. It's the only real issue. It's not even an issue. It's just that if the 9 was gone, you can just stop here, roll up a little bit, play the 8. To get to the 8. And then have a little angle on the 9. The going rail looks like it's sort of 12 or 15, and that should get him to the 5. And that might give him 93. Talk about a close match. This is going right down to the wire. Yeah, you wanted a bit more angle than that, but he should be able to draw it. You can either go forward 2 rails. I like drawing this back 2 rails. All right, I'm going to step out for a second and check out what the updated score is. I will be right back.
Yeah, I got 1. 92. 1 foul? Right, 5 and right. 92. You guys. I think you got 9. 5? Yes. You got 9. I think you 93.
Folks, it doesn't get closer than this. Hector Garcia now leads by 1 over Andy Lincoln, 93 to 92 on this race to 100. And you never would have guessed it would have ended up like this from where it started. Lincoln came out with a good lead on Mr. Garcia. I think he was up 74, roughly to like 5. He was playing very well. He was in control, and he took a good lead. You guys know how to play pool, strange stuff happens. The rolls turn around, someone starts playing better, and Mr. Garcia came right back, and he's now in the lead by 1 on this race to 100. Now I think we're definitely going to see a little bit of a safety battle, because this here's the last rack. Ain't going further than this one. You just have to make sure you check the rack and look for a dead one. Because when you nudge stuff like that, you could create a carom or a kiss, or something could be dead. You want to make sure you look for that. If you push to an area that your opponent can get access to that shot, that could spell the end. I kind of like thinning off the 7, going up by that side pocket. Nothing goes. Force Mr. Garcia to try and have to do something now. He's going to have to come into him. He can even play it if he can thin it enough by that side pocket. Go up table maybe. Not enough to give him a shot on the 5, but kind of like that as opposed to what he's thinking here. You just roll it in by the inside pocket. It does not have to go past it. Yeah, he tried to get past it. Like I said, he left him a shot on that 5 ball. And I believe you can roll this in and clip that 1 or 6. He might push out a couple of balls. The 15 might come down and decide to play nice. Well, no, actually, he kind of doubled him up on the 6. A little less, he would have had the 6 or the 15. But again, you should take a look at the stack before he just decides to pull the trigger on something. You got to look for dead ones. The 2-1 might go in the upper right-hand corner. You got to take a look at that. You might decide to play the combination, or you just might thin the 15 and come one rail. You got to make sure he really thins the 15. Good shot. And again, like I said, maybe the 4 goes in off the 13. It's a possibility. You just got to keep looking. If nothing goes, you thin the 12 and go up table from here. Just try and catch that long rail. You don't need to try and go 2 rails here. If you try to go 2 rails, you did push out to 15. You know, shooting that from the side rail is much more tougher than shooting it from here. Although this is a very difficult shot too. I don't think he's going to try it. It's just that you wouldn't want to have to shoot this. You don't want to give your opponent a chance to, look at something. Now this isn't going to be the easiest of safeties. And what I think Mr. Garcia should do is actually play maybe 2 rails and come underneath the stack and take the foul. Maybe just brush him a little bit. Again, you don't want to try and play something like this from this end rail, You can't commit to shooting this from here. If you miss this, you're going to open them wide up. Very difficult shot, very low percentage. Play it 2 rails. Play 2-rail shot behind the stack. Take the foul. Put your opponent on 2 before you have to commit to something like this. Good shot. Now Andy's got to pay attention because he has to look to see if the 9-14 or the 9-10 is on. If he tries to go up table with the safety, he might leave Hector a combination. He's just going to thin it. It looks and come 2 rails. Good shot. Now you can play off the 6 and come 2 rails back underneath the stack. Got to be careful though. He doesn't want to push out the 15, let's say. All right, he can do it without hitting the 15. He might have left the 1. He might have let him see the 1 ball. He's going to look at it. He's going to take a good close look at that. Looks like he's going to play it. He's going to pull the trigger on it. There you go. Now he's got a shot on the 6, it looks like. To give himself angle on the 15 to go back into him. Might be it. And one simple mistake, you let the guy see a ball. got to be careful if he hits the top of that 13 and caroms off the 2 up table. He's got to be a little leery, you know, of going way up table. I think he's got to play this with a high ball and he's got to force through it. Yeah, he came backwards a little bit. Now, he might have the 13. I think he does. He can play that and get on the 12. Might not be able to hold it for the 14. Or the 10. I think it's the 14 though. But he can come up. I don't know if the 8 goes by the 3. If the 8 goes by the 3, that's huge. He can roll this in and just play the 8. He only needs a handful of balls left. Might only need 5 balls. And he definitely got out of position there. He's going to look to play the 12, but the 12 isn't really going to get him on anything else. He might be able to come across table to get on that 14. He was fortunate with the leave, though. Again, it depends on whether or not that 8 goes by the 3. He might be able to play the 8 like one rail just before the 12 if it doesn't go by the 3 to make it that way. Might be able to cut the 4 one rail underneath it, the 14 there, or the 10 to play the 12. 12 is a real big ball right there. I think he's going to play, looks like he's going to play the 4. One rail. Yeah, looks like he's playing the 8. Nice shot. He played off the 4. That opened him right up. Good shot. I'm not sure exactly how many he needs. I think he needs 7. After that shot, he needs 6. And guess what, folks? They're out there. I think he should look at the 14. If the 14 goes by the 11, yeah, I think you play that now. Or the 11. Roll it right in. Playing a little awkward angle here. He's got to try and get a better shot. I mean, he can still roll the 11 in now. I guess that's fine too. He didn't want to have to go into balls. I don't think he needs to. But again, I'm not fully certain how many balls he needs.
I think you just need 3, right? Maybe 4. I'm not sure.
Okay, so figure out what he needs to do. I kind of like taking the 11 out. You know, take the break shots away, because if you do kind of make a mistake at the end, you probably see the guy break with the 6 ball up table. not sure he even needs to go into this 4-8. There you have it. Hey, Hector Garcia comes back and defeats Andy Lincoln 100-92. Wow, what a match that was, huh? 2 hours, 40 minutes almost.